So it's finally here. And no, this is not a mod. This is not some user-created model. It is finally in the game. The F-15, the most American fighter ever made. And no, I will not be apologizing for that. So of course this is the F-15A model. There's no images for it yet, but it does mean that we are lacking a few things. Like, I think it's going to not perform exactly as people were expecting, but that's because it's not an F-15C, it's an F-15A. And to prove that, you can kind of see in the back right here, if you look at actual photos of F-15s, you'll notice that these sort of feathers on the engine are still here, whereas on the production models later on they were removed. So there's one of the ways that you can probably tell, but there's a few other ways. But of course what we're actually here to find out is what this can carry, because as everybody kind of knows, the F-15 was also meant to have not just a really strong radar, but beyond visual range capability. And unfortunately, it means you don't get the AMRAAMs. The M120s are not in the game yet. And I'm actually kind of glad for that, because BVR in War Thunder just seems like something that we're not really ready for just yet. So what it means is we have Sparrows. They're good Sparrows, AIM-7Ms, but they are still Sparrows. And that's combined with AIM-9Ms, which is kind of par for the course at this point. Now, there are different versions of it. Japan has one, which looks almost exactly the same. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but isn't the F-15J technically an F-15C and not an A? Like, I think they are supposed to be different models, but they're not. So Israel also gets an F-15. We've got the Baz, I think is how you say it. The main difference with this is it gets Pythons. So that's good news. But of course, this being the American plane that it is, it feels only right to play it in the US tech tree. And if you're wondering where this goes, it's right here after the F4E. So if you follow it along, these are all the Air Force, US Air Force planes. And that of course means that the F-15A is technically in the same BR as the F-15 or the F-16C. And then of course over here we've got all of our Navy planes. And then we've got the strike planes here. That's exactly where logically it should go. Which of course means the F-15C will eventually come in and be somewhere down here. Now, my actual favorite plane of all time, the F-15E Strike Eagle, is not in the game yet, thankfully, because I think that will break the ground RB even more than the F-111 will. But I don't know where that's going to go. In all honesty, it probably will end up here or here, but yeah. It's not in the game yet. Now, of course, you're probably wondering how this is actually going to perform. Now, we have the pulse Doppler radar. I think we can switch that to head-on, PDV, and search mode. We've got all the different kinds of modes here. Lots of stuff to switch between. And we've got ACM mode. No head-mounted device, though. And, of course, we have the cockpit. Look at that. It's now in the game. Ooh. Okay, we have neck issues. But, yeah, look at that. That looks really, really good. In fact, I'm going to get rid of the menu so you can actually really appreciate this. Because that is really, really nicely modeled. I love the way these looks. Even got the little brushes. The little brushes on the throttle. Brakes on. Power it up. Look at that. Straining against the brakes and away we go. So no flaps. I mean, I could put the flaps on. But look at that acceleration. Look at it go. Let's just pull up now. Look at that. I mean, without flaps, you still pull up really fast. Now, of course, the real question is, can we, you know, climb vertically? Well, let's find out. Okay, we're already losing speed at 60 degrees. Let's pull it all the way up to 90. Come on. Yeah, that's gonna be a no. I mean, the fact that we're climbing already with tanks, full fuel, full load of missiles, we're still climbing. I mean, that's impressive, but you know, we're not exactly breaking the sound barrier here, so let's just level ourselves off. But that's still really impressive, though, as far as engine power goes. I got a MiG-15 down here. Let's lock them up. There we go. And I'm gonna switch over to our Sparrows here. We're gonna launch. Look at that go. I want to test out these Sidewinders as well, these AIM-9Ms. Now, against a MiG-15, that seems like a little bit overkill. But hey, I don't think RB is going to be any different. But it really is just so nice. And look, if we decide to like strip off all of our weapons, let's just drop our tanks. We're going to drop all of our weapons as well. So now we're completely clean wing. Still got a full tank of fuel though. But let's just see how fast we can go. All right, well, we're already past Mach 1. 1.1, let's keep going. 1.2, 1.25. At 16,000 feet now. We're still accelerating. We got no wing flutter or anything going on still. I think it's fair to say that this might be among the fastest jets in the game. I don't know if it's exactly the fastest, but definitely it's up there. I think we're kind of reaching our top speed now. Can we get 1.5? It's definitely slower. Oh, we're reaching the edge of the map. Yeah, 1.5, there it is. All right, so one thing that is really cool about this plane as well is that if I just show you here, if we pull up and then pitch down at a certain angles of attack, you do actually get those air intakes at the front. So these right here, they will actually adjust accordingly, and that's just so it can give itself some better airflow at different angles of attack. Really kind of cool system. But yeah, this plane will rip its wings at extremely high speeds, so that's something to be aware of. You do have to worry about ripping your wings. I believe it's 11 Gs is the maximum, so we're kind of at 10 Gs there. It's not doing it here. I don't know if instructor is restricting us, but I've done it in RB already, so it definitely is possible. All right, just gonna open up our brakes here. The air brake's okay. It's nothing really fantastic, I would say, but yeah, in a dive it does perform very, very nicely. Now the chances of ripping our wings are a lot higher down here. We've got much denser air. Oh yeah, we do have a cannon, which is always nice. M61, so it does as you would expect. But let's go and see how this performs in an actual game, shall we? Ooh, look at that sunrise over an F-15. It is a pretty sight. All right, here we go. Gonna get those sparrows selected. We do have our 2 bags. I think you can run 3 maximum, but I'm just going with 2. And the reason is I want to be able to use those afterburners as much as possible. A lot of people have asked, like, especially when I did the tornado video, why I run the fuel tanks, and it's because I want to run less internal fuel and then use the fuel tank so I can dump the fuel tanks if I need to. Because there's no way to dump fuel in the game other than dropping fuel tanks. Yet. I figure, why not, you know, go somewhere in between, and this lets me use the burners for as long as I'd like, and then be able to drop the tanks for whenever I get into a dogfight, which, to be fair, the F-15 can do, and we do have those sidewinders and the gun for that, but of course, I don't want to be getting into that if I can help it. So we have the sparrows for a reason, we might as well use them. I just can't get over how good this cockpit looks, too. Now, this is Kamchatka. This is the new map that we have. With these erupting volcanoes over here. I'm not sure about the timing if you look at the recent spate of eruptions going on right now. Whether a map with volcanic eruptions is necessarily appropriate? I mean, it's not something that I think the War Thunder player base will necessarily mind all that much, but it is kind of not the most auspicious timing for a volcanic map. But nevertheless, I'm glad that they're trying new things, and I'm glad that this is an RB map for air RB, not ground RB. It's always nice to see that, especially since Rocky Pillars came out, which looked to be sort of inspired by that one mission in Ace Combat, and they decided to just put clouds in it and make it unplayable. This, on the other hand, is pretty nice and playable. Oh, we got... Oh. Whoa. Okay, I didn't even turn that hard, and it broke my wing. I have a feeling the dev server ping is gonna start being a problem. Still loving how easily this takes off. We're gonna start just a little bit of a climb here. Yeah, see, the plane doesn't really seem to care so much. Like, you can really climb. We're already at 12,000 feet. So, you know, the people that used to space climb, yeah, that's not gonna be a problem anymore. Alright, just gonna level ourselves off around about 25,000 feet here. And I believe at this altitude, we should be okay to super cruise. We're just gonna find out now. So, for those who don't know, by the way, super cruise just basically means flying faster than the speed of sound without afterburners. And considering we're still accelerating in the thinner atmosphere here, I think we might be able to do that. Oh, look at those volcanoes down there. I want to get a good look at those, so maybe when we're done up here, I will go down and have a look at those. But yeah, it looks like we're stopping... Well, no, we're still very, very slowly accelerating. So 0.97 Mach at this altitude. I'm sure if we go higher, we might be able to just hit Mach 1. So I guess Super Cruise is not a thing necessarily. I mean, maybe if we ditch the tanks, we might be able to. But yeah, I think that's where we're at right now. So I'm just gonna throttle back and we're gonna bring ourselves down again. Because I want to have a look at some of these. Look at these volcanoes. Oh, look at that. How close can we get to that before we would consider that too hot, do you think? I mean, it's decent looking lava. It's a nice looking, you know, volcano. Definitely really strong Ace Combat vibes. All right, there's a lock on something. All right, let's get that Sparrow on him. Missile away. Oh, he's fired as well. His missile's going all over. Oh, did I hit him? I think I did. Well, that was a good hit. That radar stayed tracking no problem. Like, that was exactly what you expect from an F-15. And like, that AIM-7M, it can definitely burn for a really long time from what I've seen. So you can really get some distance on them. So that would be considered like kind of like a medium short range kind of shot. Well, for this radar and missile combo. Yeah, definitely an appropriate jet to include in a update named Air Superiority when this is literally what it's designed for. All right, let's head down to the deck. Let's see if I can skim along the river here. Betty's already shouting at me. Let's follow the river. Come on, need a little bit more throttle. I want to follow the river. Oh, we cut a little bit too much speed there. But yeah, 60 feet off the deck. Also, while we're doing this, somebody asked me recently why my altitude is in feet and my speed is in kilometers an hour. There's a very, very good reason. And it's a really stupid reason, but it's because War Thunder has units of measurement that you can customize, but it's the same between air and ground. So I would like to use knots for my indicated airspeed, but that would also mean that I'd have to change it every time I switch to a tank, because then my tank would measure speed in knots. And I don't know about you, but I can't figure out how fast my tank is going in knots. It just doesn't work in my brain. Oh, something was really cool. They just added the afterburner noise. I don't know if this is something that was recently added, but I've only just noticed it. But when I turn the afterburner on, listen to this. There's like an actual thump or like a boom when they turn on, which is really nice. I don't know if that was there before, but I'm noticing it now. Whee! Ground strike. We're not a Strike Eagle yet, but we will be someday. All this plane needs to do is grow another pilot seat and conformal tanks. But we will get there. So something else I would love for War Thunder to include is some kind of way to save your like default radar mode, because having to like switch all these different modes, like different scan modes and so on, I'd rather it just be whatever I last set it to, you know, because there are some planes like the F4S where I only use pulse Doppler and HMD, right? And yeah, sometimes that's not the most useful thing, but I like to use that more than anything else, so I'd rather it just be that. But of course, I'm still wondering when they'll just add that. Ooh, that was a really weird cone. It was like there and gone. Right, so these Sparrows that I've got, these ones, they technically have a lock range of 40 kilometers and a launch range of 100. I don't think they can really do 100 Ks. You never know. I'm not gonna try it, but apparently they can do that. Wait, why am I being launched at from behind? Oh, there's an F-16 there. Well, surely that's not coming for me, right? All right, I'm gonna get you. Sukhoi. Meow. Alright, I gotta switch to Sidewinders. Okay, that means I gotta drop my fuel tanks. Drop the bags. Wait, where's he gone? Oh, I've knocked my pilot out. We're G-locked. I think the thing that's coming up as a MiG-29 might actually be the Sukhoi. Yep, there he is. Alright, here we go. And because crew lock is still a thing for some stupid reason, especially on the dev server, here's the bars. It's more or less the same thing, just, you know, with Pythons. I've also went with a single centerline tank just to kind of show the difference with something like that. But we don't even have fuel in this mode, so it probably doesn't matter. I want to test how well these Pythons work against these TU4s here. Alright, there we go. Oh, look at that thing turn. That is so good. Alright, and guns? Very nice. Alright, I want to check out this Sukhoi 27. Oh! Never mind. Yeah, that wing overload is going to be an issue, I think. Alright, there's an F-15 over here. I'm just going to slow myself down. And we broke out. Yeah, this is not an issue with the plane, by the way. This is an issue with War Thunder and ping. Because the turns I'm making, they briefly touch 11 Gs, and it takes a second for the server to register that it's only for a brief moment. Just touching 11 Gs in a turn is basically a death sentence. So the wings are not that fragile, it's just the server thinks I'm making that turn for a lot longer than I actually am. Of course, I'm no expert, but that's what I think is happening here, which of course means it's really hard to show how good this plane actually is. But I have heard it said that the Sukhoi is definitely a lot better, just based on some of the maneuvers it can pull off. We're gonna go have a look here. All right, this Sukhoi is taking on this F-15. I think he's got him. Is that a hit? Yep, that's a hit. All right, I want to see if I can lock up this Sukhoi as he comes up from behind the mountains there. Yep, so that is a lock that we can get. We can also change our lock to this, which is huge, which I don't know how often that will be useful, but like for an ACM mode, I guess, you know, it might have its uses at times. But yeah, this is not bad. Like, we don't lose lock that easily, and then of course we could go in for the gun kill if we wanted to. Pretty sure that would have been a kill, but I mean, it's also when he was distracted. I don't really want to shoot at anybody right now either, because everybody's got their own dogfights going on. Oh, there's a Mirage. Yeah, if I wasn't turning like so gingerly, that would have been a gun kill right there, I think. I'm just honestly amazed with how maneuverable this plane is. I honestly expected it to be such a nerfed plane, just because, well, when an aircraft or an entire platform has like over 100 kills to 0 combat losses, you start to think that maybe that plane is kinda good. And this is just one of those moments where I'm just like, I don't know if I could, you know? I don't know if I could deal with the F-15, like my favorite plane in the whole world, being nerfed like that. And I'm pretty sure the entire playbase would never accept that sort of thing. But yeah, exactly what they're saying in chat. The Sukhoi 27, every video I've seen on it so far, it seems crazy, and it can definitely pull off some insane maneuvers. But then again, the Draken, and I'm pretty sure the Gripen can also pull off some of those crazy maneuvers too. And those planes haven't broken Air RB. Air RB is still definitely 100% playable. So I think we'll be fine. I think it'll be just fine. Come on, let me hit the AI plane. There we go. I want to get this one that's right in front of me. Nope. Well, somebody else got me. Alright, I think it's time to do some actual fighting. Let's get into it. Alright, who's here? There's a Gripen down there, Jazz 39. Alright, I'm gonna turn. Gotta be careful not to pull too many Gs. Alright, there's a Sukhoi down there. Alright, let's go there. And then we'll get... Oh, there's a tunnel there. Oh, that is cool. Can I get into that tunnel? Am I about to get shot at? Yes, I am. Alright, let's go find that tunnel. I want to try that. I mean, it's a very Ace Combat thing, but this is a very Ace Combat looking map. So it kind of makes sense. I want to go in there. Let me in. Oh, did he crash? Hang on. Can I go in there? Okay, I probably shouldn't do this with full afterburners. Okay. Okay. This is... I made it. Oh, that gives me Ace Combat flashbacks. Like, genuinely, a lot of Ace Combat flashbacks. That's such a good series, and if War Thunder can honestly be a little bit like that, just a little bit, not entirely, but a little bit, I think it'll be really, really solid. But hey, it's been out for what, like 11 years now? And this is how far we've come. And you know, as somebody who's played War Thunder ever since it was in the early beta stages where all we had was World War II planes and jets weren't even in the game yet, thinking back to when I was playing back then and seeing, or even just considering that, you know, we would have an F-15 in the game, let alone F-14s and F-16s in the game at some point. That is just such a far-fetched idea. Now we have it. Absolutely incredible. But this is the dev server, and there's plenty more still to come. And I know this isn't your typical action-packed, comedy-filled adventure that I tend to put out, but this is my favorite jet of all time, and I just want to share that with you guys, the fact that it's here, you know, that we have it in War Thunder now, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's absolutely everything that I was expecting it to be, and I couldn't be happier. Now, I would be even happier to see the F-15E in the game, but you know what? Maybe we'll have to wait a little longer for some mud movers, but for now, having just the A model in here, I think it's a good compliment to seeing just all the F-16s in the game. Just how many F-16s there were against all the MiG-29s, and now we have something else at top tier that we're eventually going to be seeing. But that is going to do it for me, and we've got more dev server goodness to come. I'm going to take a look at tanks next. Let me know if I should look at the Sukhoi as well, because everybody's been raving about it. Maybe I should take a look at it, but let me know what you guys think. I mean, jets aren't really what I do on the channel. This is more or less the exception to that. We are going to have the new Leopard and Abrams and Challenger, and of course the T-90 coming up next. But let me know what you guys are most excited for in this next update. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and of course subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. My name is Panzer. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.